If you could, would you kind of talk about your top three priorities as First District Congressman?
Sure. First of all, I think a congressman should be a leader to bring more and better jobs, career opportunities for the people of Northeast Mississippi in the 1st Congressional District. The economy right now is soft. We need to work with all of our partners in Washington and Jackson to help bring in projects like Toyota here in the Pontotoc Union League Partnership. So more and better jobs is a top priority. Secondly, I will champion conservative values. I believe in lower taxes. I believe in the sanctity of life. I believe in the sanctity of marriage. I believe in traditional, strong, conservative Mississippi values, and I'm proud to be a Republican. Third, I think that the federal government should be smaller in scope and should be less intrusive in people's lives. We need to work with small business and industry and service providers to make sure that health care is made more accessible and affordable for people in Northeast Mississippi. The federal government has a role to play. And I guess last, federal government should support local leaders in education. Education is the key to economic development, to careers. We ought to support our public school leaders. If people choose to homeschool, they can do that. The federal government should not impose itself in law-abiding and local leaders. I support local leadership. That's where progress really happens. I have worked as a mayor. I have worked as a regional consensus builder to bring jobs to Northeast Mississippi with Appalachian Regional Commission. I've worked at the federal level with 2 presidents of the United States, with Senator Thad Cochran, with Senator Roger Wicker, to help bring more and better jobs to Mississippi and actually make things happen. Not just talk about making things happen, but bring progress to the people of the 1st Congressional District. That's what I'll do as a U.S. representative.
Could you talk a little bit about the nation, currently the economy, a lot of talk, maybe in a recession or close to it. What is the role of Congress in improving the economy?
Well, I think the economy is in a slowdown right now and people rightfully are concerned. What we need to do is work with organizations like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the Federal Home Loan Bank to make sure that capital is made available to people who want to buy a home or want to move into a nicer home. The federal government should make sure these agencies are well run and managed efficiently for the taxpayers. I think the short-term economic stimulus will be it's a short-term fix where families will get a rebate check in May. There's a tax cut for small businesses. I support that. I think the tax levels are too high on both businesses and individuals. So if we reduce the tax burden, more capital, more money, you get to keep your own money. You can put it back in the economy. The long-term solution, though, is the federal government should support technical skills training in our community colleges here in Northeast Mississippi and should support research at the University of Mississippi to make sure that we can take ideas from the laboratory and we have the people trained by our community colleges who can produce the Highlander in 2010 for Toyota. That's the longer term fix for the economy. I believe that the best social program ever devised is a good job, a career where people can provide well for themselves, for their families. And that's what I'll focus on as a member of the U.S. House.
Right. What is your assessment of the overall war on terrorism, and how would you rate its effectiveness?
Well, clearly we have to win the war for freedom. This is a war for freedom, and the United States of America must remain free so we can have a vibrant economy, so we can have safe cities, so we can have schools that work. So we have to win against those who would seek to inflict terror and take away our freedom. The surge clearly is proven to be effective. I believe that the Iraqi people can govern themselves at some point in the future, and when that happens, I'd like to bring our troops home. However, we must remain vigilant. We must have proper intelligence networks and technology to watch and see what is going on in Iran, in North Korea, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan. Hopefully that we could prevent any future acts of terror. The top priority of the federal government and as a congressman will be to ensure the safety and security of law-abiding American citizens. To do that, we have to prevail for freedom against those who would seek to inflict terror.
Great. And lastly, what should Congress do in response to rising health care costs and a large number of uninsured adults and children?
Yeah, health care is such an important issue for working men and women and for families. I think that the government can allow for small business to form health care alliances, and so that health care costs can come down because of the volume of people covered, and also be more accessible to more Mississippians in the 1st Congressional District. Here's what I don't want. I don't want the federal government to stand between a person who needs accessible health care and the health care provider and the doctor. Decisions should be made by people at the local level who need health care. They should be in charge along with health care providers. I don't want some big government program which will only drive the cost up and the accessibility down. So I'd like for small business owners to be able to form alliances, maybe even across state lines, so that we can make health care more affordable and more accessible for the people in the 1st Congressional District.